One of the biggest names of all of mixed martial arts, and of course one of the hardest hitting fighters that's the sport's ever seen. A two-weight division champion, of course. Is he on the verge of fighting for the heavyweight title? Because that is what he's hinting at. He took to Twitter and he posted with no context, no clues, no opponents, no nothing. He just put 1, 2, 3 and go. And as a man where the most thing that he says is Shama, credibility to this, they said that the UFC went to Tom Aspinall and asked him to vacate the belt. That's because he just had a double eye procedure, double eye surgery, whatever you want to call it. He had
Aya's Tom Aspinall fighting career is over, yes. Almost UFC has been forced out of action due to lingering eye injuries caused by repeated eye pokes, effectively sidelining him from the UFC. To keep the division moving, the UFC is now giving Alex Pereira the opportunity to step up and continue the fights. On the other hand, some fans point out that Jon Jones was once given a 1,000-day break during a major issue in his career, whereas Aspinall has been out for just over 100 days, yet the UFC is already moving on without him. Many feel this is unfair treatment, sparking debates among UFC legends who have voiced their concerns about the apparent injustice and the UFC's handling of Aspinall's situation.
And because I had about 5 or 6 eye surgeries, I do know a little bit about this. So real quick, let's talk about this. Tom's going to need, apparently, eye surgery. It'll probably just be a minor thing, like a realignment of the tendon, but things can go wrong. Joe is absolutely correct, 100% when he says that things can go wrong. My retina was reattached after it was detached against Vitor Belfort, and then it redetached, and then they fixed it again, and then I got glaucoma, because once you start messing around with the eyes, in fact, just like any part of your body, once you start going in and messing around with it, it's never the same again. It's never quite as strong, and things can go wrong. Now, medical science has improved, thank God.
At UFC 321, Aspinall went up against Ciryl Gane in what was supposed to be his first title defense, but the fight ended in a no contest after Gane poked Tom in both eyes. And let's be very clear, this was not Tom's fault. He was the victim here. Fast forward to today, and Tom has now undergone double eye surgery. He's been dealing with double vision ever since that fight. He's on the road to recovery, but there is no confirmed return date. Zero. None. It's been over 4 months since that fight, and the heavyweight division is completely stalled.
It's very obvious. So when he's looking up and in, the left eye is going up and in extremely well. Yeah. The right eye is kind of stopping. You see how the right eye is just not as high up as the left, and it's not as turning to the left as the left eye is. And that's a restriction. So the eye wants to go and he wants to track it, but the more I do this, the more he's going to start aching in that upper inner aspect. And what he's going to do is, if he's in a fight situation...
And then Tom himself went on social media and posted something that really hit different points. He said, and I quote, "I love mixed martial arts. I'll never stop loving it, but I just hate the business. I think that fighters are completely replaceable, and the business will make you feel like that any chance it gets. Even if you get hit with an illegal move which could affect the rest of your life, they don't really give a damn, and no one else does either. That is a champion who is hurting, not just physically, but emotionally, and you can feel it in every single word." Now, things got even more chaotic when a fake report started making the rounds on social media. The rumor claimed that the UFC actually went to Tom Aspinall and asked him to vacate the heavyweight title while he recovered, and it spread fast. Even ex-UFC fighter Josh Thomson was posting about it like it was real.
UFC asked Tom Aspinall to vacate the title until he was ready to go. He said he'd be willing to vacate the title as long as they released him. Now, that opens the door so he can go ahead and box. This is a really weird situation. The heavyweight division is just a total shit show right now. And it's been a shit show since the Jon Jones coming in, not wanting to fight, you know, the interim champion, which was Tom Aspinall at the time, and then fighting Stipe. No disrespect to Stipe, you know, but it was just, Jon had something in mind, and the UFC didn't squash that. They allowed that fight to happen, and it just led into this thing where the heavyweight division's been on hold since the Jon Jones debacle, I guess you would call it.
Michael Bisping caught wind of this rumor, and here's what he said. He said he actually understood it. He said if the UFC did ask Tom to step aside, he would get it because they wouldn't want to run another interim title fight after the whole messy situation Tom had with the interim belt in the first place. But, and this is important, Bisping confirmed the rumor is completely false. Tom is still very much the heavyweight champion of the world. He hasn't been asked to vacate anything. The report was pure fiction.
And when they said they went to Tom and asked him to vacate, I kind of understood it because they probably wouldn't want to do an interim title fight because of the whole debacle that Tom went through with the interim title, and then to bring another interim title in, that would seem kind of weird and seem kind of crazy, right? Interim titles all over the place.
While Bisping said he sympathizes with Tom Aspinall, and he does because Bisping himself went through multiple eye surgeries during his own career, he also came out and said something that is going to be controversial. He said the show must go on, his exact words. I understand what Tom's saying, because you do feel like the whole world has turned on you, and he wasn't the person at fault. He wasn't. But this is the world that we live in. The show must go on.
Does either, right? And I understand what Tom's saying, okay? Because you do feel like the whole world has turned on you, and certainly when he wasn't the person at fault, he wasn't. But this is the world that we live in. It just is. The show must go on.
He said the UFC is a massive worldwide corporation. They have a business to run. They have events to put on. And as brutal as it sounds, if a fighter gets hurt, the machine doesn't stop. Bisping compared it to any regular job. If you get injured at work on a Monday morning, the factory doesn't shut down. The deliveries still go out. Life goes on. Now some people are going to hear that and get angry. And honestly, that's fair. Because Tom Aspinall is a champion who was hurt by an illegal move through absolutely no fault of his own. And now he's being told the train is leaving without him. That is a tough pill to swallow.
Ciryl, you were fighting a wonderful first round.
Fortunately, in my career, it was saved by, well, it wasn't saved by medical science. They did their best, but ultimately I did go blind. But for Tom, fingers crossed, he'll be okay, right? Now, everyone that's come out of the woodwork, and if you just look at the comments of that tweet from Joe Rogan, that little clip, my God, there's some people out there, they don't know what they're talking about, man. This is the heavyweight champion of the world. He's not a duck. He's not trying to get out of a fight. He wants to come back and kick Ciryl Gane's ass. He put that in a tweet recently. The man's pissed off, and I can't wait for the comeback.
So when I'm done, I'm done. I'm not gonna be like, oh, how many do you think you have left? Fact. Less than 10. What? Less than 10 fights? 7. You are? You surprised? Yeah, I thought it was like 4 or 5. I thought you weren't gonna fight past 40. Well, I know that's still less than 10. less than 10. Less than 10. Okay. I thought it was a lot less. I know, 6, 7. Now, yeah, who knows? Like, I know it's less than 10. It can't be past 10. So if I fight now, fight one more time towards the end of the year, maybe. That's 2 fights. If I do 2 fights a year, fuck. Next year I can still fight. 2028 is where I'll be like, I don't know yet. I don't know. I can't see past 2027, but I do know 2028. I don't know. I don't think that far ahead at the moment, but I do glance at it, but I don't really try and focus on it. I just know I'm on the tail end. I can see the finish line. I've been seeing the finish line in the distance, but now it's closer. But who knows at what pace will I get?
Israel Adesanya has broken his silence about the end of his legendary career. The last stylebender says, I can see the finish line. Israel Adesanya, ready for the final chapter of his storied combat sports journey. The former 2-time UFC middleweight champion has confirmed his retirement is closer now and likely coming by 2027. In an exclusive interview on his YouTube channel, Adesanya revealed he has less than 10 fights left in the tank.
What do you think you want to do when this is over?
So I have a plan in place because I'm an adrenaline junkie. So I know I'll need something every, like maybe thrice a year where I feel like I'm going to die. So again, if I said, okay, I'm done fighting now, then okay.
Let's start with the bombshell announcement that has the MMA world talking. When asked directly about how many fights he has left, Adesanya didn't hesitate. Quote, less than 10. It can't be past 10.
Less than 10. What? Less than 10 fights?
What? You surprised?
Yeah, I thought it was like 4 or 5. I thought you weren't gonna fight past 40.
Well, I know that's still less than 10.
Okay, less than 10. Okay.
Okay.
I thought it was.
To put this in perspective, at 36 years old, with a professional fighting career spanning 25 years when you include Izzy has over 100 professional fights on his resume. That's an incredible amount of mileage on any athlete's body. Here's how the math breaks down. Adesanya is set to fight Joe Pyfer at UFC Seattle on March 28th. If he fights one more time toward the end of 2026, that's 2 fights this year. If he maintains a pace of 2 fights per year, which has been his standard throughout his UFC run, he could still be active in 2027.
Middleweight champion Ciryl Adesanya versus Joe Pyfer. Adesanya, former 2-time middleweight champ, 16 of his 24 wins by knockout, and Joe Pyfer is on a 3-fight win streak. And since winning the Contender Series, all but one of his wins have come by finish.
But here's the key quote. 2028 is where I'll be like, I don't know yet. I can't see past 2027.
2028 is where I'll be like, I don't know yet. I don't know. I can't see past 2027, but I do know 2028.
Adesanya continued, I just know I'm on the tail end. I can see the finish line. I've been seeing the finish line in the distance, but now it's closer.
I do glance at it, but I don't really try and focus on it. I just know I'm on the tail end. I can see the finish line. I've been seeing the finish line in the distance, but now it's closer.
Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Ciryl Adesanya is currently on a 3-fight losing streak, the worst of his professional career. He lost his middleweight title to Sean Strickland in September 2023, then came back to lose to Dricus du Plessis in his immediate rematch attempt. Most recently, he suffered a knockout loss to Nasruddin Imavov in February 2025. For a fighter of Adesanya's caliber, someone who dominated the middleweight division for years, this has been a humbling period. But here's what's fascinating. Izzy isn't making excuses. In the interview, he reflected on the Imavov fight, saying he's watched it 4 times. Why? Quote, just to see the improvements I made, the speed, the way I was, my activity in the first round.
Against Abus, he came out and showed some more of his repertoire, his grappling, and he submitted Abus in the 2nd round. He's known for not wrapping his hands, even though wrapping your hands are to protect your hands and not for more damage. But yeah, what are your thoughts on Joe Pyfer?
I don't wrap my hands before sparring, before pat.
Even in defeat, he's analyzing, learning, studying his craft. He acknowledged the mistake that led to the knockout, noting, you got to know where you are in the cage at all times, even for a split second.
Yeah, hindsight, you gotta know where you are in the cage at all times, even for a split second.
But here's what's remarkable. Despite this losing streak, despite being written off by some fans and media, Adesanya's mindset heading into the Joe Pyfer fight is one of complete confidence. And we'll get into that mentality shift right after we talk about what he's been doing during his year-long layoff. Listen to his passion when he talks about it. It was cool to bring the culture forward, to share the culture with people. For me, it was good to remind myself that I'm more than just fighting.
Bring the culture forward. It was cool to share the culture with people and bring Burna Boy here for the first time. After a few failed attempts, we're trying to bring him over to Australia and stuff, or him trying to come over here, and then through the obstacles we had to go through. And then me learning how to DJ within 4 months, and then doing a whole set in front of at the time, because I was early on the card, probably like 8,000 people. What else? Fucking Broke Boy's doing well.
People were coming up to his business partner all night saying it was the best concert they'd ever been to. His parents attended their first concert ever and danced the whole time. This wasn't just a side project. This was Izzy proving to himself that he has value beyond the octagon. And that's crucial context for understanding his mindset going into this final chapter. He's already building his post-fighting life. The pressure is off. He's fighting now because he wants to, not because he has to. He said it himself. I became a UFC champion just to do this stuff. I just want to perform. I've always just wanted to perform.
That's what I do. That's what I fucking do. Let's go. And I became a UFC fighter just to do this shit. This is it.
I became a UFC champion just to do this shit. And this is it.
I was just hyped when I said that because I was just like,
Whether it's in the cage or on stage, Adesanya is a performer at heart, and that freedom, that's dangerous for his opponents, which brings us to March 28th, UFC Seattle, Ciryl Adesanya versus Joe Pyfer. For the first time in his UFC career, Adesanya entered as the betting underdog. Out of 19 UFC fights, this is the first time the odds makers are favoring his opponent. But Izzy, he doesn't care. Quote, "I've always been the underdog. I've always felt like I have something to prove."
I mean, yeah, looking at that fact, how does that affect your mindset? It doesn't affect me because I've always been the underdog. I've always felt like I have something to prove.
When asked about Pyfer, who's known for not wrapping his hands because he believes he has weapons of mass destruction, Adesanya's response was calm but confident. "He might, but I'll find a way. I always find a way." But here's where it gets really interesting. Listen to this quote. "I feel really good. It's different now. Certain things I can't share because I keep stuff on the low, but I feel unstoppable. I really feel unstoppable." He continued, "Everything I've done is for this moment in my life. Everything I've done in this game has been for this moment in my life now. And now that it's here, I can't be messed with."
I find a way, bro. I always find a way. And I don't know. I feel really good. Like, it's different now. Certain things I can't share because I keep shit, on low. But like, it's like, I just feel unstoppable. I really feel unstoppable because everything I've done is for this moment in my life. Everything I've done in this game has been for this moment in my life now. And now that it's here, it's like, fuck. I just feel I can't be fucked with. Nothing bothers me.
Adesanya also revealed he's looking forward to the grappling exchanges. He welcomes Pyfer trying to take him down, saying he's been training with high-level grapplers and has some good magician tricks, some black magic, if you will.
I got some good tricks. I got some good magician tricks, some black magic, if you will.
I mean, but that was the one, Joe. You said that combination extends. He's waiting for that opportunity to counter.
Ian Gary, nicknamed The Future, is the biggest threat to Islam Makhachev. Yes, you heard that right.
There's going to be no excuses from anyone on the planet. When I beat him, I have beaten the greatest pound-for-pound fighter on the planet right now. Your excuses are all finished. There's none. Don't look for them. Don't pick on them. I'll beat the number one pound-for-pound on the planet. I'll beat a champion of the world. And then we can start the aggressive.
As well, like, it's not a small world.
No, he's a big dude.
You're like,
There's no excuses, no, none whatsoever. When I beat Islam Makhachev and I win the world title, there will be no excuses from anyone, anywhere on the planet. End of, done. They all look for something. They all want that claim, it was this, it was that. No, it couldn't have been you. It couldn't have been. That Ian's just better than you.
Polarizing guys in the UFC's welterweight division, maybe in all of the UFC.
Anybody slips up, you best believe there's a world title coming back home to Dublin, Ireland and Brazil, baby.
Is he getting a title fight next? Is Ian Gary versus Islam Makhachev the fight that is going to happen? Because it just might be. Because hear me out. Ian Gary is the number one ranked guy on the planet. And he's beaten some tremendous fighters along the way. And of course, he took Shavkat Rakhmonov in a number one contender matchup, took him 5 rounds, almost got the submission in the 5th round, and then since then, he's come back and the man is still fighting. Last time out, he took out Bilal Muhammad, who is the former champion. Before that, he took out Carlos Praches, one of the biggest and hottest names right now in the welterweight division. So I say it again, right now, is Ian Gary going to fight Islam? Because when you look on social media...
Ian Gary has said he is coming to beat Islam Makhachev and become the pound-for-pound number 1 champion of the world. But here's the real question everyone is asking right now. Can he do it?
Oh, huge combination from Shadow Gary!
Oh my goodness! It's over.
So Kaname want to go home!
Wow.
On one side, we have a pure striker. 17 wins, 1 loss. 41% of his wins came by knockout. Raw, technical, dangerous.
Islam was for my father like his son. My dad always keeps saying Islam is the future champ.
And I just want to say, this my belt for my coach, Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov. Many years ago, he told me, just training hard and you're gonna be champion. And I want to give this belt him and his father make me.
He can do everything.
Looking to finish this fight.
It's over. It's over. Leo's out.
It is all over.
Beautiful job by Makhachev.
Great UFC debut for the Russian.
On the other side, we have Islam Makhachev, 28 wins, 1 loss, 46% of his wins by submission, a wrestling and grappling machine who can also knock you out. So can the striker Ian Gary hand Islam his second career loss and become a 2-division nightmare? Or does Islam take him down and add one more name to the long list of fighters who thought they were ready and weren't? Let's find out.